Meanwhile, 14 News, as always, is your back-to-school headquarters, and this morning we are just 1 week away from school starting back up across the tri-state. That includes the Evansville-Vandenberg School Corporation, which has students with last names K through Z starting on Monday, August 4th.
And hey, with the school year about to kick off here, doctors are making sure that students and our families are ready for the big day.
With that, here this morning, we are joined by Dr. Garrett Kuhn. First of all, Dr. Kuhn, thank you for joining us here this morning.
Thank you both for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. He's with Deaconess Pediatrics, so of course, once again, thank you for joining us here. Excited to have you on to kind of talk about things getting back in gear. Kids go back to school.
Yeah, perfect. So a couple things that I like to prepare parents for and to help out ease this transition is start now with getting back into that sleep and wake up time routines. It's tough to have been kind of maybe doing whatever you want during the summertime, but now we got to get back in ready for school. Move those wake up bedtimes up by 15 to 30 minutes per day or per opportunity that you have to make that transition shorter. Next is to work at some nutrition things. So make sure that when we're sending them off to school that we're starting breakfast with some protein so that we start out with good learning fuel for the day. Incorporate those fibers and good fats as well. Okay.
Definitely. We know a thing or two about a weird sleep schedule on this shift, of course. What are some good examples of just making sure that they do get into a sleep schedule? Can you give us like maybe on the weekends they start going to bed an hour earlier, maybe a half hour earlier, and what kind of foods should they try to take to school or encourage schools to provide?
Yeah, so back those sleep times up by like 30 minutes or 15 minutes even at a time. Make that transition a little drawn out and short, not so abrupt, but then have them help out in setting some of those bedtime and morning time routines so that they feel a sense of empowerment in doing so, but your parental judgment has that overall oversight. Use some checkoff charts too, so that I brush my teeth, I comb my hair, I did those kind of things, and then they can see visually that it was accomplished and that you're not saying, oh, hey, do this, when they feel like it had already been done. As far as snacks go, it's easy, I guess. Pick the healthy ones. So healthy snacks and pack healthy lunches. Those snacks are a good opportunity to give some protein in the day too to prevent that late day crash that can happen for some. Pack a water bottle that's refillable if your school allows as well.
Yes, definitely some great advice. Now we want to move over to the peace of mind section, which is something that I definitely can personally relate to here as my 3-year-old is starting her school adventure for the very first time next week. So I am excited, but of course there's a little anxiety surrounding that. And really this time of year can create anxiety and worries for not just the parents, but students as well. Really all of the whole family. It's an adjustment, it's a change.
Yeah.
So what are some things that us parents can do to just make sure that their kids are doing okay and heading into the school year? And what can we do to help make us feel okay too?
Yeah, so it starts with a simple conversation and talking with him about what to expect with school, the school day, and what that midday routine is going to look like, including who's going to pick them up and how to expect that pickup to be. It gives them those expectations so that they have a little less of those worries throughout the day. That said, listen to the things that they have to say about what their concerns or fears may be and talk them through it. You guys have been through it. All of us as parents have been through those things. We know what it's like, but talk them through what it will be like. Don't end it with, it's going to be okay, or you'll be fine. Talk them through those struggles.
Great advice. All right, of course, we also want to take this time to remind parents about the Peace of Mind section. That's over on 14news.com since we are talking about this right now. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen, or you can go to our website to see some resources across the tri-state that are available if you or really anyone you know needs some help. Just a great resource, right, Mitch?
Absolutely. And of course, Doctor, one of the last things we were to talk about was technology, right? Across the tri-state and across many of our schools here, they put in place new rules when it comes to phones or electronics. Obviously, that's a very hot button issue in schools is can you have your cell phones, backpacks, stuff like that. What should parents do when it comes to setting up tech boundaries at home, getting ready to kind of start the school year off? Yeah,
now's the time to set those tech boundaries and get some of those things reinstated as far as screen time goes. Because I was one of them during the summer. We all probably spend way too much time on those screens. But again, set that boundary now and be working towards it. We like to think, 2 hours of screen time a day for the majority of children, but that doesn't include the mandatory tech time that school needs and or homework requirements are. This is the extra stuff. Keep that as a loose limit because we know that some kids can handle more, some kids can handle less. Look to their behaviors as the guide as a parent. So if you're noticing that sometimes they're struggling, think about how much screen time that they're getting and use that as the dial back point to help improve those behaviors. But that can be bedtime even as the struggle. So make sure that we're getting those screens shut off about an hour before bedtime, so that we've got plenty of wind down time before sleep, so that we can prepare our brain to sleep in the best way possible.
Yeah, that goes for us adults too.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
100%. And some of those like tech-free zones too, we as adults are terrible at mimicking this good behavior, and that's like bedrooms, dinner table, phones down, tech down, make that family time or preparing for sleep time.
That's right. Lead by example. Don't just say it, do it. Well, Dr.
Correct.
Kuhn, before we go here, we know many parents are looking to make sure that their kids are ready to go for the upcoming year. So we want to know, when it comes to physicals or our vaccinations we need to get, where can parents go right now to help get their kids ready for that?
Yeah, so call your pediatrician first of all and ask about getting in for those kinds of things. But then you can also go to our website, deaconess.com, and find a doctor, and you will get in touch with someone that's great.
All right, perfect. Dr. Kuhn, again, thank you so much for coming in here. We
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
having you
Appreciate
here.
it.
Of
Thank
course, you know, talking about back to school tips, another reminder for parents and students, a lot of schools across the tri-state heading back next week. So to make sure, just keep an eye on there on the school's calendar. Make sure you don't miss the first day. Obviously, EVSC goes back in differing kind of last name slots there. So keep an eye on that. And before you know it, the school year will be under full swing, and we'll get this thing rolling.